Hey, what's going on? It's Dr. Bob. More research studies coming your way. I love this one. This has the power of chiropractic and its effect on concussions. Listen to these amazing facts on concussions. These are going to blow your mind. So first off, concussions will continue to be a part of collisions, motor vehicle accidents, all contact sports. Drugless solutions to relieve the suffering and progression of post-concussive patients are needed, and chiropractic helps address some of the underlying causes of the unwanted post-concussive symptoms through the adjustments of the vertebrae. Here's why. The symptoms of concussions are due to neuronal dysfunction and not due to structural damage, right? So the concussion rattles the brain and it stretches the nerves. So it's not the actual structure, it's the nerves and the nervous system. This is why conventional structural imaging techniques such as CT and MRI are typically unremarkable. You can't see the structural changes when it's the nerves that got stretched. It's the effect of it, right? So listen to these stats. Number one, high school football players are nearly twice as likely to sustain concussion over college players. Whew. Nearly 70% of high school athletes with concussions played despite their symptoms, and 40% reported that the coaches didn't know of the injury. 6 of the top 10 NCAA sports with the most concussions are women's sports. Top NCAA sports concussion rates: wrestling, hockey, women's ice hockey, men's football, women's soccer, women's lacrosse, women's basketball, women's field hockey, then men's basketball, and then women's volleyball. There were nearly 3.8 million concussions reported in 2012. That's double the number from 2002. So 10 years later, it's double the number of concussions. Is it more sports? Is it more aggressive sports? Is it trying to get the scholarships? Whatever it may be. Nearly 500,000 children suffer concussions each year. Children. 30% of concussions occur in practice. We're talking about practice. 20% of high school athletes will experience a concussion during the season. 33% of high school students who've had concussions report 2 or more the same year. Do you see the trend of how common they are without addressing the actual neurological change and the effect on the structure? 4 to 5 million annual concussions in the U.S., highest growth rate seen in middle school kids. So athletes who suffer concussions were here's how this plays out. Who had a concussion, they're 3.79 times more likely to get a muscle or ligament injury. So more injuries happen post-concussion because the nerves are the control of the muscle system. For example, when I adjust any golfers, if it's the first time I'm adjusting them and they have a tournament coming up, I don't want to adjust them because now the change on the nerves and their coordination is actually changed for the better, but they're used to the old. It'll throw off their swing. So we need multiple adjustments and multiple games before they can go into a tournament. So think about this. When you have a concussion in the nerves and they're not firing and the coordination is off, guess what happens? More muscular injuries. Moral of the story: concussions can be improved and fixed with chiropractic care by the adjustments of the vertebrae to help take pressure off the nerve because of the stress on the nervous system tissues. I highly recommend all student athletes get adjusted on a regular basis for protection and prevention and immediate improvement if there are those minor injuries, because most happen in practice. So student athletes, if you have kids, we'd love to check them out. If you know of somebody who suffered concussions or multiple concussions, it's not too late. We can still help them. Send them our way. More research studies coming soon.